Hi, my name is Mr.Lea. I'm the metal shop teacher here at Sonoma Valley High School. Been here since 2004, so it's like 18 or 19 years, something like that. Some of my first students they're like in their 30s now, old people. When I first wake up, I get my computer and I punch up the Channel 2 news and watch what's going on and see if there's going to be any weather going on, and get my cup of coffee and slowly get going. Well, when I first get to school, I usually run over to the office and see if there's any mail, and there hasn't been any mail for a long time. Then I run around here in the classroom and try to get things ready for the day. So I make sure that the paint cans are there and things are kind of cleaned up, and try to at least put stuff together for the day. How does it feel to be a teacher? That's a good one, because it's actually a really hard job. It's not what you know about the subject, it's how well you work with people. It took me a long time to figure that out, and the rewards take a long time to reap. It sometimes takes 15 or 20 years for people to come back to you and say, hey, I really had a good time in your class, Lee. So, the longer you stick with it, the more satisfying it is. And I have the great luxury of working with some really interesting people here, and people who need lots of support and lots of guidance as to what to do after school. So I went through a lot of different things in college. I started out as an art major. I was an art major for, I think, 4 years. Then I said, well, let's try science, because I always liked science, so I was going to go into meteorology. So I started out down that route, but there was too much math. And so I walked away from that and said, maybe I should just go back to what I've always done, which was making stuff. And then I kind of dialed in the metal thing a little bit later on. It was like after high school. A favorite project for me is like the candle holder, because we start out making this toolbox project, and it's really kind of regimented and you have to do things a certain way. Then we get to the candle holder, you have to make at least the most basic candle holder, but you can also do whatever you want as long as you don't use 400 feet of metal around here. But you can make lots of different curls, and it gives you the latitude to do your own stuff. I think after that is probably the flower. As the flower has been a really successful project over the years, and most of the students have shown me how to do it. We brought it here like a long time ago, 18 years ago, and it's developed every year, and I learn from students. So the way I make the flower now was taught to me by the students over the years.
What is the most memorable memory you have?
Wow.
Metal shop.
I think, I don't know, just to kind of put it in blunt terms, when people mess around in here, several years ago, welding situation was a little different, and a couple of guys filled up an Arizona can with oxyacetylene, and they lit it, and the boom was so loud I could swear Mr. Knight must have heard it over in his classroom. The can, we never found the can, it vaporized. All we found was the lid. So that's kind of memorable. People come in here and say, hey, Lee doesn't care about stuff. Well, I do. I care about if you guys you got your earbuds in and you're looking at your phones. It's kind of important to pay attention in here. And not that I'm a sage on stage and I know everything there is to know. I just think it's important that you respect the people. I try to respect you guys, but you respect what I have to say. And I do care if you guys are locked in your phones. I don't really say much about it, but it kind of gets under my skin. Getting away with stuff, you're twisting pieces of metal, you're actually learning something about the metal. So that sometimes bothers me too, but I try to give people some latitude to just experiment with things, and sometimes that means you're getting away with stuff, breaking hammer handles and wasting our paint and things like that. But that's it gives you a chance to sort of play with stuff, and I think that's really important.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
See you guys.